Good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you reside in the world. My name is Shanta Sherrod Sanders, and I'm the Global Director of Pre-Sales Engineering here at CounterCraft. I have 24 years of experience within the technology sector. Now, like every engineer, I have two skill sets. For me, I have enterprise data center technologies, so storage, virtualization, servers, networking, cloud, etc. But I also have various aspects of cybersecurity, offensive and defensive technologies. The bulk of my career, I have supported all facets of the federal government from a technical perspective. That includes the intelligence community, Department of Defense, federal civilian agencies, as well as state, local, and education. As a result of my background, today, during this particular webinar, we're going to discuss all of the cybersecurity threats facing the federal government today. We're going to hone in specifically on insider threat. First and foremost, we're going to define it. The reason why is because many people have different views of what insider threat is. And then we're going to highlight some recent examples of insider threats that made the news recently. We'll also review, most importantly, how you could defend against insider threats. Cybersecurity is a top priority for the federal government. So much so that the Biden administration back in March announced a national cybersecurity strategy designed to enhance collaboration around 5 key pillars: defending critical infrastructure, disrupting and dismantling threat actors, shaping market forces to drive security and resilience, investing in a resilient future, and forging international partnerships to pursue shared goals. And this is not the only mandate or executive order released by the White House. We also have the National Security Memorandum number 5, which is designed to improve cybersecurity for critical infrastructure control systems. We also have M-22-09, moving the United States government towards zero trust cybersecurity principles. So again, cybersecurity is a top priority for the federal government. Now, it's important to acknowledge all of the cybersecurity threats facing an organization today. And the cybersecurity threats that the cybersecurity team within those organizations have to contend with on a daily basis. Nation state actors, ransomware gangs, phishing attacks, old and new threat actors, insider threat. We also know that some cyber criminal organizations like Lapsus, for example, will even recruit employees in an effort to breach a network. You combine that with the fact that the workforce shortage that cybersecurity industry is experiencing, it escalates the situation even further. According to various industry surveys, 61% of organizations feel they are understaffed in terms of cybersecurity professionals. No wonder 4 in 5 security professionals said they are burned out, which is why we are seeing more and more senior level resources leave their jobs at an alarming rate. All of these factors force a cybersecurity team to prioritize their efforts as they should in order to defend against these particular attacks. What I typically see is a concentration on protecting the perimeter, studying online criminal marketplaces, addressing exploits, and patching vulnerabilities. Now, to be clear, these are things a cybersecurity team should do. However, due to this particular strain on the resources, another major risk oftentimes goes unattended is insider threat. Now, insider threat should also be a priority for cybersecurity teams. Now, when it comes to defining what insider threat is, again, many people have different views on this particular topic. But let's consult a trusted source of truth, DHS CISA. And CISA stands for Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. CISA's mission is to lead the national effort to understand, manage, and reduce risk to our critical infrastructure. Now, CISA defines an insider threat as a current or former employee, a third-party contractor, or a business partner who at some point had access to an organization's network, systems, and data. There are a number of different examples when it comes to insider threat. You have some who focus on blackmail, threatening to disclose sensitive data in hopes of monetary gain. You have the careless employee who needs to pay more attention to the annual cybersecurity training provided by an organization. They end up falling for a phishing scam, putting the entire organization at risk. You have nation state attackers who are looking to steal intellectual property. You have individuals who want to do nothing more than damage critical services. You also have stalkers who use their escalated privileges to obtain sensitive information. And lastly, another type of insider threat unique to the federal government, espionage, or said simply, spies. All real credible threats to an organization that deserves a cybersecurity team's attention. Let's stick with this insider threat profile of espionage and take a look at past and recent examples of insider threats the federal government had to contend with. First up, Robert Hansen was an FBI special agent that began his espionage activities in 1985 and wasn't brought to justice until 2001. During this time, he provided highly classified national security information to the Russians in exchange for more than $1.4 million in cash, bank funds, and diamonds. Eric Snowden, former NSA contractor, admitted to the theft of hundreds of thousands of highly classified files detailing U.S. intelligence collection programs. Currently, he's hiding from justice in Russia, where he continues to divulge the NSA's vast domestic and international espionage operations. And most recently in the news, the 21-year-old Air National Guardsman who is accused of posting a treasure trove of classified documents to social media, despite being repeatedly warned by his superiors in the Air Force over his mishandling of classified documents. The negative impact insider threat actors have on the mission and national security is real and long-lasting. Because of their malicious acts, numerous human sources, counterintelligence techniques, investigations, and technical operations have been compromised, putting their countries, allies, and citizens at risk. The reality is, insider attacks are becoming more and more frequent and more difficult to detect. So, why is that? Well, there are a number of different factors that make detecting an insider threat difficult. But the top factors that make timely detection and prevention of insider attacks difficult include things like trusted insiders that already have credentialed access to apps, networks, and services. The increased use of SaaS applications that may be improperly configured. So as a result, they leak data. An increase in personal device use with access to corporate resources. IT users and admins with far-reaching access privileges. And the shift to hybrid and remote work has also intensified insider risk. And the list goes on and on. But these reasons highlight why detecting insider threats can be difficult. Now, while it's not easy to discover an insider threat, there are certain things you should be on the lookout for. Employees knowing that they're about to be fired. You should pay attention to that. Disagreement with corporate policy, something else to pay attention to. Financial debt or a departing employee. There are also various actions that should be considered as a red flag, such as working odd hours or accessing the facility at odd hours. That's a red flag. Someone who has an influx of cash with no reasonable explanation. Again, that's another red flag. Traveling to foreign countries that aren't tourist friendly. Another red flag. These are all indicators of insider threat. Now that we have been able to review all the cybersecurity threats, sadly, that not only the federal government have to contend with, but also commercial entities, we're going to now specifically pay attention to how we can mitigate insider threat. But again, we should go to a source of truth. CISA and other agencies have developed ways to tackle insider threat. Let's take a look at those steps. Step one, we want to create a comprehensive insider threat mitigation program. If implemented correctly, an insider threat mitigation program can help deter harmful and illegal behavior. Now, this program's sole purpose shouldn't be to catch people doing things wrong. No, instead, it should focus on helping people avoid mistakes, providing a safe environment, and preventing insider incidents from occurring while mitigating the potential risk before an issue escalates to theft, sabotage, espionage, or especially violence. Step two, we want to detect and identify insider threats. There are a variety of visible behaviors that can serve as warning signs for a person of concern who is on a pathway to an insider incident, as we discussed earlier. Organizations should establish the capability to detect and identify these concerning behaviors. Organizations should also establish a culture of reporting and train their members on how to report their concerns or observations. The combination of human observation, reporting, and technology-based insider activity monitoring can enable an organization to detect and identify possible malicious or hostile incidents. Step three, assessing insider threats. Threat assessment is based on behaviors, not profiles, and behaviors are variable in nature. The ultimate goal of a threat assessment is to prevent an insider incident, whether intentional or unintentional. To achieve prevention, a threat management team must determine whether a person of concern poses a real threat. Step four, managing insider threats. The organization's leadership is ultimately responsible to protect the organization and its members by taking measures to mitigate insider threats. Effective approaches implement multiple complementary solutions that affect the person of concern, the potential victim, and the organizational environment. Organizations with effective threat management programs plan well, share information, and understand when urgency is needed. Step five, look to adopt and implement a cybersecurity model like zero trust. Now, I know all of us understand what zero trust is, but just to make sure we're on the same page, the goal of zero trust is to prevent unauthorized access to data and services, coupled with making the access control enforcement as granular as possible. This is a cybersecurity strategy premised on the idea that no user or asset is to be implicitly trusted. It assumes that a breach has already occurred or will occur, and therefore a user should not be granted access to sensitive information by a single verification done at the enterprise perimeter. Instead, each user, device, application, and transaction must be continually verified. Now, it's also important to point out that the path to zero trust is an incremental process that may take years to implement. CISA also recommends taking a proactive approach to cybersecurity to help combat against insider threat as well as other cybersecurity threats facing our organization today. This is where deception technology comes into play. More specifically, CounterCraft's deception technology platform. So again, to make sure that we're on the same page, let's define what deception technology is. The CounterCraft deception technology platform is designed to lure and attract the threat actor away from a production environment over to our environment that looks just like a production environment. As that threat actor starts to interact with our deception environment, we're going to collect in real time TTPs, IOCs, telemetry, aka threat intelligence. We're going to take that threat intelligence and automatically map it to the MITRE ATT&CK framework, the MITRE ENGAGE framework, as well as NIST 800-53, the risk management framework. Provide that agency with that real-time, actionable, tailored threat intelligence so that they can do two things. One, go shore up their production defenses, and then come back to the deception environment and remediate the threat. So at our core, we're providing an organization with four capabilities: misdirection capabilities, the ability to confuse and slow down the threat actor, threat detection, threat hunting, and threat intelligence, all from one platform. Again, enabling a proactive cybersecurity stance. Now, the CounterCraft deception platform is designed around the deception triangle that you see in the lower right-hand corner. We're going to talk about credibility first. So unlike other deception vendors in the market today, we don't do any emulations. We install on real non-production systems. Those systems can be physical and or virtual. So why do we do that? Well, we do that for two reasons. One, ease of deployment, as well as credibility. You will deploy a server like you do any other day of the week. The only difference is we'll instrument that particular decoy, which we refer to as a deception host, with a very small agent. That agent will, one, make that particular deception host or decoy a part of our deception environment, and again, allow us to capture all activity as well as all threat intelligence that happens as a result of the threat actor interacting with it. We also, again, utilize these non-production systems for credibility purposes. Now, we have the ability to also take it a step further. We can generate fake network traffic. We can also populate the environment, if you so desire, with fake data or fake collateral. And we also have the ability to simulate human behavior. So imagine a threat actor comes into our environment. They realize that they're on a real system that they believe is production, but they see browsers opening and closing, searches being performed, commands being ran, spelling mistakes in the command, files being created, edited, deleted, moved around, all completely random, all completely customizable. The biggest thing to take away from this particular point of the deception triangle is that the CounterCraft deception environment is dynamic, not static. And then, as I mentioned before, our decoys, which again we refer to as deception hosts, are instrumented with a very small agent that we refer to as deep sense agent. That agent, again, allows us to capture real-time, actionable, tailored threat intelligence, as well as all activity that happens inside of the deception environment as a result of the threat actor interacting with it, including data exfiltration attempts. Now, if you're like many people I talk to, as soon as you hear deception technology, you automatically think honeypot. But what is a honeypot? Well, a honeypot is a fake environment that the cybersecurity team would build in order to hopefully have a threat actor avail themselves. Now, the creation and maintaining of a honeypot environment takes a lot of time and effort, typically cycles that the cybersecurity team does not have. As a result, they did not maintain the environment, so the threat actor was very quickly and easily able to tell that it was fake. And then what did they do? They pivot to the production environment, something that you do not want them to do. Also, honeypots provided no threat intelligence whatsoever. Now, if you take a look at deception technology, and again, specifically CounterCraft's deception platform, again, we pride ourselves on high interaction. And the reason why we have high interaction is because our environments are very credible. Again, we're utilizing real non-production systems. We're also simulating human behavior. And then again, we're also providing you with real-time, tailored, actionable threat intelligence with context, because we're mapping that threat intelligence to reputable frameworks that are used by cybersecurity professionals today. Now, by deploying deception technology inside of your environment, you're able to accomplish at your core 5 use cases that are outlined by Gartner for deception technology: basic threat detection, detection and response, production of local indicators of compromise and machine readable threat intelligence, integrated proactive threat hunting, and most importantly, active attacker engagement. The biggest thing to take away from this particular slide is, yes, by deploying deception technology, specifically CounterCraft's deception technology, you'll be able to have a solution that can accomplish these 5 use cases that you see outlined on the screen. So speaking of use cases, let's talk about a few use cases that are relevant to the topic that we're talking about today: insider threat. So deception technology, and again, CounterCraft's deception technology platform, can actually help you protect your entire attack surface. We have internal and external facing deception campaigns. But taking a look specifically at the screen in front of you, we're going to talk about insider threat detection. So we have something that we refer to as breadcrumbs here at CounterCraft. Breadcrumbs are basically fake pieces of information that a threat actor would view as real and valuable in order to breach an environment. Because we have a flexible deployment model, we can seed these breadcrumbs anywhere you see fit. In this particular example, we're going to take an active breadcrumb, which means that it's beaconed, and we're going to seed it inside of the production environment. As the threat actor stumbles upon this particular breadcrumb, which is designed to, again, control the behavior of the threat actor, as well as lure and attract them away from your production assets over to our environment, we're going to provide you with 2 things: high fidelity alerts, as well as telemetry. So again, in this particular scenario, CounterCraft Deception Platform, by means of our active breadcrumb, can assist with insider threat detection. Let's take a look at another use case that you could utilize deception technology for. In this particular case, we have designed an attack path to accomplish the verification of somebody trying to access confidential information. So first and foremost, we're always going to utilize our breadcrumbs. And again, we have 2 types of breadcrumbs: active and passive. In step 1 of the attack path, we have sprinkled in a combination of active as well as passive breadcrumbs within the production environment. Again, the active breadcrumbs are beaconed. So as soon as the threat actor stumbles upon these fake pieces of information that looks like it's valuable in order to breach the network, we're going to alert you in real time. But not only are we going to alert you in real time and provide telemetry, but again, we're going to move the threat actor over to another step of infrastructure in step 3 that they believe is real non-production systems. As they start to engage with this infrastructure, as they start to attack it, you will receive real-time alerts, events, notifications, and threat intelligence in real time so that you can, again, shore up your production defenses, but also make an educated decision on how to remediate this threat. Another valuable use case for deception technology is lateral movement. So in stage 1 of the attack path, again, we're utilizing breadcrumbs to lure the threat actor away from your production environment over to a decoy that's serving as an application server. As once again, they start to engage with it, even at the reconnaissance phase of the kill chain, you again are going to receive real-time alerts, events, notifications, as well as threat intelligence about their activity. Now, once they breach this particular decoy, which we refer to again as a deception host, inside they're going to find a treasure trove of what they believe is valuable data, but in reality is fake data. And again, we're keeping you alerted to all of their activity in real time. So the benefits of deploying deception technology as part of your overall cybersecurity architecture is 1, rapid detection. Again, we're going to provide you with real-time alerts, events, notifications, as well as real-time actionable tailored threat intelligence. That's 100% applicable to you and your mission. Also, 0 impact to your environment. We do not instrument production endpoints. That goes against our philosophy. Again, Our solution is designed to lure and attract the threat actor away from the production environment. And we also don't want to impede the day to day mission. The only thing that becomes instrumented inside of our deception environment are our decoys. Also, because we have a number of reputable frameworks built in, we're able to help you profile and identify the adversary. So we are able to help you understand essentially who the threat actor is, what they want, what they've done so far, and what they plan on doing in the future. And then, probably most importantly, we're helping you manage attacks by capturing these real-time, actionable, tailored threat intelligence and reporting to you and your cybersecurity team in real time about these attacks and slowing down the threat actor, keeping them occupied inside of our deception environment. This gives you the opportunity to, again, go shore up your production defenses before the threat actor even gets a chance to realize that they're in a deception environment. So let's recap the ways that we can mitigate insider threat. First and foremost, we want to implement an insider threat mitigation program. We want to make sure that we detect and identify insider threats at our organization. We want to assess insider threats within our organization. We want to make sure that we're managing insider threats properly. And we want to make sure that we are implementing the zero trust model. And then last but not least, we want to make sure that we take a proactive cybersecurity stance by utilizing CounterCraft deception technology. Here's a number of useful, helpful resources that you can take a look at your leisure to help you with developing your insider threat mitigation program. Also, I've added CounterCraft's website where you can see various white papers, data sheets, and blog articles, and future webinars to help you understand how CounterCraft can help you, again, take a proactive cybersecurity stance in regards to the cybersecurity threats that you're facing today. I just want to say thank you for joining us today. We hope you found this information useful. If you have any questions on how CounterCraft deception platform can help you with insider threat or take a proactive cybersecurity stance, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. My information is here on the screen. And again, thank you for your time. And we look forward to seeing you again at our next webinar. Enjoy your day.